Wing. Chief Buchanan here. I'm hanging out down with the really cool folks down here at DM with the 924 Fighter Group. And today I got the opportunity to sit down with Senior Airman Stacey Chu and find out what she does here in the unit and ask her a few personal questions to get to know her better. Hi, Airman Chu. How are you?
I'm doing good. How are you?
All right, let's have a seat.
Do we get to remove our masks?
We can. I think we're 6 feet away.
We're 6 feet apart.
So that way we can hear each other and not have to mumble. So, Airman Chu, I'm happy to be able to sit here with you today and learn a bit more about you, yourself, your family, what you do here in the 924th, as well as what you do in your civilian life. So, if you'll just take a few minutes and just give me a little background. Who are you? Where were you born? Why'd you join the military?
I feel honored to sit here with you and learn about each other. I think that's important. I think it's good camaraderie. I'm actually an Egress apprentice for the 924th MXS. I started in the Air Force back in October of 2018. Being an Egress apprentice, it's completely different from my civilian job. Definitely out of the normal realm of, well, let me just tell you what I do. I am a flight attendant for a major airline in my civilian life. So you take that and you see Egress. They both have to do with aircraft, of course, but completely different circumstances of the aircraft. For Egress, we deal with the ejection seat primarily and the explosive components that go into it. There's a lot of responsibility that takes place. Also, being a flight attendant, there's a lot of responsibility that takes place. We're trained to evacuate an aircraft in 90 seconds. So it's a very important job. So I guess it also has to do with Egress in a sense. Yeah. But for the military, it's a lot of weight that's put on your shoulder because you have not only this pilot, their life in your hands, but also for the greater cause, the greater mission of the Air Force. So being just an Egress apprentice, it's a huge responsibility, and it's something that I don't take for granted. I worked before becoming a flight attendant or before the military, I worked for Disney for 14 years.
Wow.
I was a performer for them. I started in Anaheim and then worked in Tokyo and Hong Kong. And there was just, I loved working for them. It was extremely fulfilling. But there was something missing, something deeper. And something that I hadn't found. I'm 32 years old, almost 33 years old. And I needed to fulfill that empty spot in my life, and it brought me to the military, to the Air Force. My sister was in the Air Force, and her husband is still active duty, so they inspired me to join, and I'm so proud of myself that I did, and that I went through BMT and did something completely different. Not many people would think someone coming from Disney and making dreams come true would take that drastic turn to do something a little more serious. Yeah. So I'm very proud to wear this uniform and to be sitting here and kind of share my silly little story. But I'm happy also that it has to do with aviation. My uncle was a pilot for America West, and ever since I was little, I just loved aviation in general. I loved airplanes, and I always found myself looking up at the sky and watching them. There's actually a quote that I love so much. It's by Leonardo da Vinci. He said, "For those who have tasted flight, you will forever walk the earth with your eyes turned skyward. For there you have been, and for there you will always long to return." And that quote just is so important to me, and it's so inspiring to continue to do what I love every day and save lives. It's very fulfilling.
Absolutely. Have you ever thought about becoming a pilot in the Air Force?
It crossed my mind. I think sometimes the age gets to me, just starting over in life when you're later.
Yeah, but it sounds to me like just hearing from your story that you're not afraid of that challenge obtaining that goal, right? You were how long doing a job unrelated to what you do in your civilian life, right? Being a flight attendant. You were working for Disney, right? So two totally, very much people-centric, right? Which is great, but two totally different jobs.
This is true.
And now becoming an egress technician, right? In the 924th MXS, 180 out, right, from what you do in your civilian life. So it seems to me like you might be the perfect person to maybe seek that, think about that.
And I do like to push myself, and that's something that I love about everyone that I work with at the Egress shop, from my supervisor to, they're wonderful, and they push me. They push me out of my comfort zone. If I don't feel like I'm comfortable at something, they make me try again and keep pushing me, and then eventually I get it, and I'm so proud that they push me past my ability that I think I have. So perhaps I'm very passionate about everything that I do, and maybe there is a little thing in me that wants to fly. Possibilities are endless. Who knows?
Absolutely. I think whatever goal you set for yourself, you're clearly going to crush it.
Thank you, ma'am.
Some people will attain it, but you'll be crushing it. Do you have aspirations of staying in the Air Force long term, like 20 years, 30 years, until they kick you out? Like me in a couple years when I've been in so long that it's time for me to go. But
yeah, I'm definitely going to make this long term.
Great.
The benefits are amazing, even as a reservist. My love for aviation isn't going anywhere. So I would like to stay here for 20 years if they'll have me.
That's great.
And then within my career, maybe try other things, maybe pursue something a little more difficult, like flying, or I even thought about maybe being a first shirt. There's so many opportunities within the Air Force. Once you have your foot in, you grow. You grow as a person. You grow in character. You grow in strength, and it's something that. It's one of the best decisions I've ever made.
That's great.
In my life.
That's fantastic. Well, I will tell you wholeheartedly, the 924th Maintenance Squadron, as well as the 924 Fighter Group, as well as the 944 Fighter Wing, I couldn't be more honored to be sitting here with you and you be a part of this unit. I could see you staying here for the next 20 years in this unit and making an incredible difference to every person that you come in contact with. You're very passionate about the job that you do, and it is a very important job, right? How it correlates and relates to the mission, which you've just, during our brief discussion, I learned that you understand how your job fits into the mission here at the 924, and it's an extremely important mission. And I just want to say thank you for taking the time to sit with me today.
Thank you for having me.
I really appreciate getting to know you, and I look forward to working with you a lot more in the future.
Likewise, ma'am.
There you have it, team. There's Senior Airman Chu from the 924 MXS down here at Davis-Monthan Air Force Base. Great time to be down here and interact with these awesome airmen. Forge and fight.